It is Thursday, the 15th of May.
This is The Warning.
Donald Trump is whoring his way across the Middle East, creating images that are unprecedented and unimaginable for an American president. I remember reading somewhere that in America, we care about human dignity. We care about human rights. We care about the rule of law. We care about fundamental values. Alas, not anymore. Now, Trump, surrounded by Arab thugs, desecrated, denigrated, and slandered the United States. You see, it was a miserable hellhole for 249 years until Trump became our king. Look at these pictures of the oligarchs gathered. Look at the corruption. Look at the grift. Contemplate the greed. It is otherworldly, to say the least. Now, under the Capitol dome, attacked by Trump's mob of rioters, his seditionists on the 6th of January, a very different type of contest, a type of battle is unfolding between the worst of the worst and the best of the best. There are two types of Democrats that exist together under the Capitol dome. There are Schumercrats, appeasers, and there are fighting Democrats like Dan Goldman, like Senator Chris Murphy. And it's these fighting Democrats, like Congressman Eric Swalwell, that are the salvation to this crisis. The fight is necessary. And let's talk about what it is that we're witnessing when we see this exchange, incredible exchange between Senator Murphy and Robert Kennedy.
And said that the measles vaccine was never fully tested for safety. You said there's fetal debris in the measles vaccine. And this morning—
All true.
This morning in
Do
front of—
you want me to lie to the public?
That's not— none of that is—
Of course it's true. Of course it's true, Senator. Senator, begging your product, you do not know what you're talking about.
For the record—
Let's have a little bit of order so that you can get
Madam
your
Chair,
question
I'm
and we can get
I didn't
this
ask. I didn't ask for a response yet.
I understand
I'd like
that.
to lay out the predicate of my question before I'm interrupted by the witness. He should
Go
have some
ahead.
respect for this committee.
Or, incredibly, between Eric Swalwell and Kristi Noem.
You agree, though, that this is doctored, is that right?
The same protocols that are
Madam
applied
Secretary,
to every
I want you to have
individual with
credibility,
law
and
enforcement.
I want you to be taken seriously. Is this doctored or is it not
Sir,
doctored?
I am taken quite seriously
Is it
because I
doctored
approach
or
my
not
job
doctored?
with the importance that the president has given me to do
I understand.
my job.
Is it doctored or not
One thing
doctored?
that's important to remember is that every single time a case is built—
Madam
against
Secretary, I have a
individuals,
7-year-old,
the
a
same
6-year-old, and a
protocols.
3-year-old. I have a bullshit detector. I'm just asking you, is this doctored or not doctored?
The U.S. Constitution establishes 3 branches of government. There is the Article 1 branch, the Congress. There is the Article 2 branch, the executive. And there is the Article 3 branch, the judiciary. All 3 of these branches check and balance the other. They create a constitutional harmony. And this balance is what keeps the citizen safe from the state, because it holds that no branch is dominant over the other. Each branch is co-equal. Each is separate. Each has its mission. And so one of the vital constitutional missions of the Congress is to perform oversight on the executive, the president, who administers but does not make the laws, does not point a finger and accuse, does not have the power to convict. That rests with the judiciary. It is the Congress that spends the taxpayers' money. It is the Congress that has powers that are not granted to the president. And so when a cabinet secretary comes to the United States Congress, they come not as a guest, but because they are required under American law, under the Constitution. The Congress, on the matters that you're watching, is supreme. And what we see, whether it's from Robert Kennedy, his evasiveness, his insanity, his delusions, epic dishonesty. Or Kristi Noem, her unbridled contempt is disdain for the concept that the United States is a constitutional republic. What Kristi Noem is saying is go yourself. And so an incredible drama is playing out moment by moment by moment every day as two forces collide, shaped by a third. The shaping force is the appeasement, which puts a magnifying lens on the conflict when it comes, because it's so striking to see the duplicity, the mendacity, the utter indecency fully exposed. So Eric Swalwell, in this moment, will not let it go. And he only has 5 minutes. My question is, and I want Democrats to seriously consider this, what do they think might happen if the next Democratic member, after Eric Swalwell picks up exactly where he left off, and let it go all day long? She's not there to give a campaign speech, and the United States Congress is not the Fox News set. Let the confrontation go on. The weak spot of the attack is all that matters. Getting in more questions is irrelevant, because in this moment, Kristi Noem is being fundamentally exposed as a liar, as a cheap hustler, as a vapid, delusional, power-mad abuser of the Constitution of the United States. The worst of the worst. And this is an appropriate use of power. And it sets up the most fundamental of questions. And that is the one that has to be put to the American people by the Democratic Party, which is in a bad state right now. The party doesn't speak monolithically. So the party won't be asking the question. Candidates across America will be saying, send me to Washington and give me the power to fight and stand up for you against all of this. And all of this means standing up not just against Trump, but against the appeasement and the appeasers that have let Trump run effing wild for 150 days and have created a scenario where contempt is the currency of the Trump administration in its dealings with the representatives of the American people who were elected just like Trump. Should Trump have a mandate, then so do the people like Eric Swalwell, Dan Goldman, and Chris Murphy, who are asking the essential questions. And this is all that matters in these exchanges. Kristi Noem, Kash Patel, and all of the rest of Trump's contemptuous handmaids do not have the standing, do not have the right to tell a member of Congress who works for us, elected by us, to go F themselves in the name of Donald Trump. These confrontations must increase. They must build. Chris Murphy is putting on a master class clinic of how to conduct U.S. Senate oversight. It is phenomenal. And Chris Murphy, whether he has the title or not, so far as I'm concerned, that guy is the leader of the Senate Democrats, because that guy is the leader of the fight. He is tough, he is smart, he is focused, he is committed. He is an American patriot on top of his game. And what Chris Murphy cares about isn't a title, isn't a job. It's his actual public service. He is the best of the best. Watch Dan Goldman give Kristi Noem the business here.
Why is your opinion better and have more authority than the Supreme Court?
Investigators, 2 judges, an immigration court that all said he was MS-13 and was removed from this country.
But you understand, that is you saying that. That is you saying that.
That is them saying that. This
No.
is investigators and law
That is
enforcement
you
officers
making that
in the case they
determination.
built against him. If you don't
The
trust our law
court
enforcement
has
officers
considered all that.
and
The judge has
investigators,
considered all that,
then
Madam
who do you
Secretary.
trust if you
And
don't
if you would be
trust judges?
quiet, because I'm reclaiming my time,
Dan Goldman is not backing down. Dan Goldman has righteous anger. Dan Goldman understands that at the core, what's happening is deeply wrong, and he puts it to Kristi Noem right here and explains to her, her opinion doesn't matter. It's her compliance with an order of the Supreme Court that's at stake and at hand. She has no right to plunge this country into a constitutional crisis by betraying her oath. And what can be said about Eric Swalwell? The demand, at long last, after 10 years of insanity, to make one of these people look at a doctored image in front of their faces and to confront the lie. This is the Orwellian moment we've been waiting for. The truth is not what's real. It's what Kristi Noem and Donald Trump declare it to be, just like O'Brien prophesied in 1984 while torturing Winston. It doesn't matter, he said to Winston, how many fingers you see. What matters is how many the party tells you you see. And so what Murphy, what Goldman, what Swalwell are doing is shining a light into the abyss, into the darkness, while we still have that opportunity as a nation, as a people. And they're showing us the contempt, the depravity, the indecency, and the injustice that is gathering and coming for every one of us if we don't stop it right now. That's what's happening in America today. Some members are better than others. And when we see the best, we ought to celebrate it, and we ought to spread it to model the type of stamina, the type of courage that all of us expect from the people in the United States Congress who must defend the Constitution against the daily assault and vandalism it faces at the hands of the MAGA regime and its contemptuous leadership. This is The Warning.
I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning. I invite you to join this community where I promise to be honest, blunt, and direct about what is happening in this country. America is in crisis. Follow and subscribe to this channel and on Substack. Thank you.